Hey, sup gang, how you doing? Well, yesterday I unboxed some bits and pieces from Bricklink in order to do a bit more work on the Brickstead library, which we'll look at in a minute, but also to get some spare parts for some vintage Lego models that I've been kind of restoring to put into the Brickstead traffic jam. So first of all, let's take a look at the unboxing. Okay, so here's another package from Bricklink. Let's open it up and see what's inside. So we've got some quite interesting bits and bobs in here. Not all of them are for the new library project. There's one or two things that I need just to finish off a couple of other models. For example, I'm trying to fix up this street sweeper module here. So we've got some white hair there, which will be for one of the statues in the library. This sort of blue thing is part of the street sweeping vehicle, and there's some black window frames and other bits and bobs that will be useful for the library, so I'll attach those to the library and then we'll see what it looks like. So just before we continue, the King of Legoland would like to say a few words to you, the audience.
Yes, one just wanted to say, could one please press the like and subscribe button? It does help the channel, which of course is free of charge. I've done it, whatever that means.
Yes, thank you, Your Highness. That's very useful to say, because yes, the channel does rely on people liking and subscribing. It helps the metrics, and you know, I'm doing this free of charge, so it would be very kind of you if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing. It really does help the channel. So the first vehicle that I've been restoring is this little, I suppose it's a kind of quarrying vehicle. It's got this thing on the back for drilling into rocks and breaking up rocks. What was needed here was some of the tank tracks were missing on the sort of caterpillar track section. I actually got this vehicle as part of a random Lego set that I bought some time ago for sort of spare parts, and this was sort of mangled up in there, so I restored it. What I do need to do is get a couple of cylindrical pieces here to go on to these side sections. I put a lime green jumper plate on here which is missing, and again there's another cylindrical piece, or sort of half semicircular cylinder, that needs to go on that section there, and then that vehicle's pretty much complete, and it will probably go in the sort of fantasy vehicle section of Brickstead. Just moving that out of the way, and again this hovercraft vehicle was sort of mangled up in some Lego that I inherited, and I've kind of restored some of the bits. I just need a few technical pieces to go here, like there's some sort of silver coloured discs that need to go on here. There's sort of radar dishes and a couple of sort of round bricks on this section here. I've restored the back sections, as you can see. These grey bricks here needed putting on, and that's going to be a nice little hovercraft. Again, I'm not quite sure where it's going to go in the Brickstead setup. I think we'll have to have a sort of section for fantasy vehicles or unusual vehicles, because you don't get many hovercraft these days, certainly not in a city centre anyway. One of my favourite vehicles, which I also restored the other day is this little street sweeper. This is I think from the late 1990s, and it's I think pretty much the first street sweeper that came out. It's got this nice sort of blue coloured brush thing at the front going on there, and I've changed the top of it slightly. I've made, instead of having two circular studs to indicate the lighting system, I've put a sort of strip light there using some sloping pieces and a tile there, a sort of orange tile, and at the back it's got this sort of tubular thing. That should actually be a grey one. I've not got a grey coloured tube at the moment, so I'm going to get one, and then that will be completely restored, and that is actually quite a useful vehicle to go in the Brixted street scene. Now the big project, of course, is the Brixted Library, which is moving on apace as we speak. We've now got the upper story pretty much complete. We just need one more hair unit for this sort of statue bust there. We need a couple of grey archway pieces for the sort of reading desk thing going on there. It's feeling quite secure at the moment because the lower floor is sort of 90% complete, at least the outer part of it, with all these window pieces. And we've now got the if I take off the top story, you'll be able to see the sort of finished part of the lower building. So let's just take that off and move it. And so what we've got there is got some tiles there to sort of support the corner piece of the upper story. Notice there's a big gap here because there's a sort of stone coat of arms going on there in the building, and I'll just show you that. So here's the coat of arms section for the lower floor of the library. Notice all the a lot of the colours are wrong, of course, so I've put in an order to Bricklink for some light bluish grey pieces. We need a silver sort of shield, then light bluish grey frog, and these other pieces all need to be light bluish grey basically, and then we can, when that's finished, we can just slot it into the gap in the library, and that will be the first floor sort of well on its way to completion. There we go. I've put a bit more lighting in this corner. This corner of the room is quite dark because it's well away from the window, and the windows are north facing anyway, so I've put a bit of brightness on there so we can see the chains here. We need one more of those from Bricklink to complete that section. Notice these little sort of side lamps which are going to go at the side of the door with those nice sort of brass coloured tops on them, which will look really good. We just need a few extra pieces from Bricklink to sort of build up the sides of the door. This section of the building is kind of imitation book shape basically, so it uses lots of brown curved bricks. But otherwise I think the library is coming on quite nicely at this point, and I've decided to put my 8 stud vehicles on this road. So we've got the Batmobile, which seems to go well with the sort of gothic type of library, and then we've got James Bond's car. Oh, and this is another one which I've restored. It's a sort of Star Wars Land Cruiser type vehicle. I just need to get a couple of cylindrical shaped bricks to go in here that sort of forms the jet engine motors at the front of the vehicle, and then we've got the Fast and Furious car there at the front as well. And finally, I went to the charity shop the other day and spent £5 on some second-hand Lego, including this Harry Potter set. This one was £3, and it's got some quite useful pieces in it. I don't particularly like these Lego games, I think they're a bit lame, but it has got some useful pieces such as these dark grey bricks, and it's got these nice tan pieces, and some sort of corner plates there, and some 2x1 plates. So there's some useful bits and bobs in there. It's included quite a few of these black tubular pieces, which I actually used on the Lego library. And the other interesting thing, this cost £2. It was this Harry Potter partially complete railway engine. The actual railway engine is missing, but you get the carriage and the sort of coal carrying section there. And I was thinking of a restoration project. It might be interesting to buy the pieces for the actual Harry Potter train and then build that, and I'd like to motorise it and sort of have a little railway going round Brixted, but that's a much longer term project because I've got a couple of buildings to finish first, plus the fact I don't know how expensive it's going to be to buy the pieces for the train, but that's an interesting longer term project. So on that note, I'll say see you all next time, live long and prosper, and look forward to the next programme.